What's up guys, welcome back to another video. To kick things off, have you guys ever thought about how easy a dog's life is? You know how easy your life is living with us? You pay no rent, you don't do the dishes, you don't do your own laundry, you poop, you crap, and you piss wherever you want. You get fed whatever you want because daddy likes to spoil you, and you just go around like walking through nature, living the best life without any worries or stresses in the world. You know, it must really be nice to be a dog. Anyways, today we're gonna talk about how I personally think that the young generation is doomed financially, like anywhere from millennials up into people born yesterday, because the world is so freaking expensive nowadays just to get by and survive. I think that we're just doomed. We're doomed financially. It's never gonna get better. It never will. Average house nowadays is over 400 grand, which means the income to have a shot at qualifying for the mortgage of the house, you gotta make well over $100,000. And the average income in this country is what, like 50? Still 55 maybe? You go to the grocery store and you get like 8 things and you come home and the bill is $100 and you felt like you didn't even buy anything. Anyways, let's get into the rest of the video. I'm gonna break down as much as I can explain. Now, I'm not a financial analyst, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a banker, okay, I'm not a real estate guru. I think I'm just a normal dude with a little bit of common sense. So today, we're gonna get into it. Let's go. Take a look at this article, and by the way, every article that I mention in this video I will drop in the description below so you can go take a look at it for yourself. This article says nearly half of young adults are still living with their parents. According to the survey, the main reason for returning home was to save money, with many saying they can't afford to live on their own. Yeah, that makes sense. And in this article, it's referring to people between ages 18 to 29 are still living at home. Half. That's a lot. That's a huge number, and as far as I'm aware, that's like the highest it's ever been. Me personally, I moved out of my parents' house right after college when I was 22 years old. I moved from Ohio here to Georgia. To this day, I think it's one of the best decisions I've ever made, just given I've grown and matured and I think progressed my life a lot. However, there's no secret that I've spent a lot of money in the process. It costs a ton of money to live here, especially in downtown Atlanta. Any big urban city is gonna cost a ton. So I have spent a lot of money, and it's no secret that if I would have stayed home, my savings account would be a heck of a lot bigger than what it is right now. Used to be you graduate school and the American dream is that you make enough money to buy a house or at least live on your own and survive, but now you can't do that, and it's sad. There's people who are 29 years old still living with their family, not because they want to, but because they don't have a choice. And this is a really difficult subject because if you watch my channel, you know I'm a huge advocate of get out of your parents' house when you can, when you're financially able to, because your life really does change. But if people right now are staying until they're 29, I can't even imagine in 5-10 years from now there's going to be 35-40-year-old people still living with their parents, and these are people even with higher education, college degrees, if inflation is still keeps going the way it is.
See my little Tay, that's my girl, that's my mascot. Little ones go for hours and some hours till we pass out. Stay inside the house, turned up with the racks out. Stay inside the house, turned up with the racks out.
So growing up, what was the financial goal in the future? What dollar amounts did you say you made it? You're successful. 100 grand, right? $100,000, 6 figures. Everyone wants to make 6 figures because 6 figures is known as a lot of money. Well, my next point of the topic is that 100 grand is nowhere near what it used to be. Is it still a considerably good amount of money? Yeah, it's double average, but it's not a lot of money anymore. And check this out. I found this basic inflation calculator online, and we could go back to like 1960 to compare when a movie ticket was 50 cents, but there's no point. Let's make it realistic. Let's say 2010. We're all alive in 2010, I assume, and it doesn't seem like that was long ago, but it was 14 years ago. $100,000 in 2010 is now worth $140,000 in 2024, which means to buy what you could for 100 grand 14 years ago, you now need to make 140 grand. And then if you reverse that, if you make $100,000 now in 2024, you could have made $68,000, $70,000, $72,000 in 2010 and afford exactly what you can afford right now. Now, inflation is perfectly okay if incomes keep up, but it's a problem because they don't. So if you take the multiple of say 1.4, right, 100 to 140 grand, say cost of living is 1.4 multiple, meaning does a job that paid 50 grand in 2010 now pay about, what was that, 72, 74, 75 grand? No, I don't think so. The job that paid 50 grand in 2010 now pays about 55, maybe 60. So my generation, all these young people are screwed because we're spending proportionally more of our income on necessities, housing, like whether you buy your mortgage or you rent, food, groceries, gasoline. I mean, $3 a gallon it is now. We consider that to be a good deal compared to, you know, two years ago when it was over $4, but it used to be like $1.50. If you're in Atlanta, I'm actually at Anderson Park right now, which is on the west side. Skylar joined a women's flag football team, and this was their very first practice, so I was just coming to watch, but turns out there is a futsal court. If you know what futsal is, it's soccer on concrete. So fortunately, I had my indoor shoes and a ball in the trunk of my car, and we're gonna kick around a little bit. And who's to say that cost of living is ever going to come down? Because why would it? Historically, cost of living has always gone up. It's always risen. I mean, obviously there's some dips, such as the Great Recession in, was that 2008, 2010-ish? But guess what? After that, when I was done, it bounced right back. They say if you invest in one thing, it should be real estate, because real estate historically will always appreciate no matter what over the long run. And if real estate's always going to appreciate in the long run, then cost of living will get more expensive as well. And I mean, we're talking about $100,000. You know, what about the average? 50, 55, 60. You know, the average person simply can hardly survive nowadays, especially if they're living by themselves. Right? If they're a single income and they're living by themselves on 50 grand in 2024, it is extremely hard, borderline impossible. And then you take in consideration, you think about the people making less than that, below average. How are they doing? Well, like they're almost homeless. I mean, think about someone making, you know, 20, 30, 40 grand a year. They are literally not surviving. They're not. It is pretty much impossible.
I count money when I'm bored. Watch the money hit the floor. Make it rain, make it pour. In my house, don't need no tour. It's just me and the fam. It's just me and the fam.
So in my opinion, another thing that isn't going to come down anytime soon, and I might have some like realtors in my inbox like yelling at me, but I don't think interest rates are ever going to come down, at least not significant enough to make a difference. So here's some basic economics 101. The Fed increased interest rates in, you know, end of 2020, 2021, a little bit of 2022 over the course of that year to combat inflation. Raising interest rates slows down inflation because it gives the consumers less buying power, and if they're buying less things and spending less money, the prices of goods, not just homes, but goods in general, come down. So present day interest rates are at like 7%. They did get up to about 8%. And if the Fed never raised those rates to what they are now, homes would not be 420 grand on average. They'd be 500, 600. And that's why interest rates aren't going to come down significantly, because if the Fed all of a sudden drops rates back to like 2, 3, 4% what they were during COVID and a little bit after COVID, everyone is going to flood into the market and buy homes, and the average home price is going to skyrocket up towards, I don't know, 700 grand. And I think there are a lot of idiots in leadership, but I think they are smart enough to know that that can't happen. I mean, you can't have an average home price, at least in the next few years, be like 700 grand. So in my opinion, interest rates will not go below like 6%. It can't. Maybe like 5.5 minimum. And now I'm not a guru, not a real estate expert, I'm not a financial advisor, like I said. I just have some common sense. They cannot drop it low back to what it was before, because it will absolutely destroy the market. There are a ton of people right now who can't buy homes but want to. So when they get a chance, as in when these interest rates come down, they will buy a home. And the more people buying homes, the pricier these homes get, which is why I think that we're just screwed. We're doomed. Rent's $2 grand, that's not going down. Homes for that reason aren't going down. They're only gonna go up.
I love you too. I love you too. Family so lit, they say we should make a YouTube, but we don't do that. I count money when I'm bored. Watch the money hit the floor.
So regarding spending money, the one thing I will never regret spending money on is going out and having a good time, because having fun is a very important part of life. Now, some of you guys, some people might think that, you know, if you're worried about money and you're worried about spending a lot, everything is so expensive, you know, why are you going out and spending $8 on a beer or $15 on some barbecue chicken fries, right? Why would I do that? Well, the reality is that's what it costs nowadays in 2024, and there's nothing I can do about it. Nothing. So I can either go out, have a good time, suck it up, spend the money, or I can stay home and not have a good time and not make those memories and save, you know, that $30 that I would have spent otherwise. Well, me personally, I value these memories over those extra couple of dollars that was spent on that beer and food. And you guys might think otherwise. Maybe you're really strapped, and maybe you do want to stay home on the weekend. Me personally, you know, I work my butt off Monday to Friday. You know, I need to go out on the weekend and have a good time. And actually, having a good time nowadays costs a lot of money. This is always a difficult subject and topic, and I think it's just impossible to recap like inflation and money and how expensive everything is into one 10 or 11 minute video. It's just not possible. So I tried to explain and regurgitate everything that I could off the top of my head. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you agreed with something or if you disagreed with anything, let me know down below. I'm always open to you guys' opinions and thoughts and curiosity about everything that I say. So let's wrap up this video right here, right now. Really hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Also, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, because I drop a new video every single Monday that you don't want to miss. As always, guys, work hard, be nice to people. I'll see you guys next Monday.